It does, right? And we're live. So, welcome everybody to yet another live interview show with Become a Fearless Father and today's guest, Martyn Cook. Martyn, thank you so much for being on. Looking forward to the next 20, 30 minutes talking to you about who knows? We're going to see, right?
Who knows what? Well,
Exactly.
thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and yeah, let's do this. I'm an open book for you and your audience.
Awesome, awesome. That's what we like. Well, we definitely, so people know, we definitely going to talk about entrepreneur dad stuff, right? Everything and anything related to that. So I always very, very excited about getting a guest and I read information. I like to catch up as much as I can before we start. And then I saw, helping to scale your business from 6 figures to 7 figures and beyond ethically, right? Now, I'm not at 6 figures yet. That's the aim now, but I'm already visioning, dreaming of my 7 figure business and beyond, right? So I'm really excited when I get guys like you that are there and then coaching people to like really pick your brain and already know like, okay, what are the things that I got to keep in mind, right? And so I can always already think ahead. So let's start off with that. What are like the keys to scale your online business to those kind of figures, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, it's a great question, but what I don't want to miss out from that question is the word ethically, because that is what I
Mm,
teach. And so I believe you're referring to the title of my book, which is this one, 1% Secret,
there you go.
which
Actually,
is something I give away for free, and it's something that I just put together because I'm the guy that isn't able to keep quiet when you hear a stranger complaining about something, and I'm like, I've got the solution to what they're saying, and I'll be that
yeah.
person that interjects rudely into their conversation because I feel like I might have something that helps them,
Uh-huh.
and so really the book came from a hatred of writing and typing, combined with a discovery that you don't actually have to write a book, you can dictate the whole thing on dog walks in my case,
Yep.
and those combined, I was able to put together some of my best work. And so, what ethically the ethically part is something that I feel very very strongly that if you're building a business that adds value as a minimum, of course, it should add value to your customer base, but
Mhm.
it should also, as a result of your success, there should be something baked into your business that makes the world better. And by the way, I mean that should be where you're kind of, you want to attract good karma, but by the way, that does actually come back and benefit your business as well if you are thinking, well, charity, that sure sounds like giving away my profit or something like that. And so,
Mhm.
to give you a real world example, in January this year, after 2 years of not doing any kind of e-commerce myself, being like a practitioner, I launched a new brand called New Brew, right? And I've got a little sachet here, and it was a very deliberate decision to be very public about the brand, to talk about it, to be open, and as part of our mission with New Brew, every single purchase that anybody makes on our website feeds, it fortifies the meals of a child for at least a year. I said that in the wrong way. Basically, it fortifies one child's meals for at least a year, or at least one child
Wow.
for at least a year, depending on how much you buy. And so we're on a mission. You assume that child will eat somewhere around 900 meals a year. We're on a mission to fortify 1 billion meals by 2025.
Nice.
And so our mission is about that, okay? And so you asked about scale and ethical scale. Well, a big part of that is getting everybody, your customers, your team, your advisors, every single person you talk about, excited about your mission, because the more you grow, the better the world becomes, right? The
Mhm.
complete flip side example would be something like a cigarette company, right? The more they succeed, the more people get messed up for a long time, okay? And so you want to be the opposite, right? You want to be the opposite, where
Mhm.
the more people you succeed, the better it is. And so we help our customers, of course. So our customers, benefit from clarified. I can't speak. I've got a lift, but apparently clarified thought, right, and improved
Mhm.
cognition in their brains by taking our product. But those in the world, and there's 2 billion 2 billion people suffering from malnutrition right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that can't afford our product would never even consider buying our product because it would be like a month's wage or whatever for them. They don't fall behind as a result of all the people above the line with their basic nutrition met, buying our products and improving and being more successful. We don't want to leave those behind. And so, through our charitable partner, Project Healthy Children, we donate and fortify meals fighting that malnutrition problem. So a big thing I would say on the scaling, it's very different to all the other people would be like, Facebook ads or whatever. I would say a big thing is a real mission, so that we talk in terms of meals fortified, right? Children helped, as opposed to dollars and cents. And I think the latest number, we've just crossed 1 million meals fortified. So we're 1% of the way there to our overall goal.
See, I love the fact that you got such a big mission. It's not just like, let's do 1,000 or, 1 million. No, you're like, let's do billion.
Well, it's a big problem. There's 2 billion people suffering with malnutrition right now. So we figure if we could do half of it and the rest of the world can do the other half, then, great.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. So for those of you watching right now, maybe you're watching the replay, I don't mind. Whatever it is, if you have a mission, if you agree like a mission is something that you must have, make this world a better place, hit that heart button as many times as you can, please. And this was really valuable. And yes, you are right, Martyn. This has not been shared on the show yet that way. And I absolutely agree, love it, excited about it. So please hit that heart button as many times as you can if you're live right now, because that will attract more people that can listen and get some more knowledge from Martyn in the next 20 minutes that we're online. I absolutely love it. Now, you said one thing and you were real quick. Show the book again for 1 second, please.
Boom.
Okay, you said it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the people to understand, like those words I pick up. I'm Dutch. We love free stuff, right? Now I know everybody loves free stuff. No, we're Dutch. We like, we take our own stuff with us when we go camping, right? We're that free. So, share with us how does that work? How do you set that up? What's the thought pattern behind that? Because I've seen it more often. I'm always wondering, like, wow, that's sharing.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of people out there who have like a free plus shipping book funnel, and they have a back end and they have some kind of coaching course and what have you. And I'm sure at least 20% of those people are legitimate and will help you. I'm not in the business of selling information, but I'm also not in the business of losing money. And so what I did was basically I didn't want to put out a digital copy of the book, and to this day there isn't a digital version of this book online, and that's because it's very easy to plagiarize, very easy to rip and pirate, but also I just couldn't see anybody going through a 300-page PDF of the book, right? And the way this book is structured, there's 50 chapters, and each chapter covers one way in great detail and great actionable detail, one way that you can improve your business or yourself, so who's working on the business, right? By at least 1%. Now, the reality is if you practice what's in the chapter, it'll be way more than 1%. But the whole premise of the book is the compounding effect of 1% gains, because anybody that tells you that to scale is about quadrupling your revenue with one little tweak or one little hack, that's not how the real world is. It's lots of incremental improvements compounded together. And just on the website, the 1%secret.com, you can I have a little video there, and I look all dapper in a suit. I never wear a suit, but please get past that. And I show how improving just 4 steps in your sales funnel by 1% doesn't result in like 4% gain. It actually results in like a 300% gain because of the compounding effect. Now, I'd like to be clear as well. I didn't come on this interview to speak about my book. That's a happy accident. And to answer your question, basically, because it's a real book that I want you to dog ear and highlight and tear out and look back and and I've had customers tell me that their pages have fallen out. They've used it so much because it's a real book. That real book has cost. I've covered the cost of all the printing and all of that side of things. It's just the postage, and it's like $7 or something for postage anywhere in the world. I lose money a lot of the time on the postage, but not that much money, so I'm okay with it. Exactly,
man. I love it. I tried ebooks and I can't. And I tried audio. Like a lot of people are like, wow, I read 100 books. And then you ask, and I'm like, 99 books for audios and the rest. And there was like one physical book. I'm like, I can't do that either. It's not, I mean, I got mine right here, what I'm reading, Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. So I love that because, you can go back, go in, draw, make notes, all that stuff. So I definitely like it, man. I appreciate it. So everybody knows the link is in the description. So, if you're an entrepreneur dad, you got to get a copy. So check it out right there. I promise you, Emma, we're over. I asked you one question and then we go into who's Martyn Cook. I asked you 3 questions now, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Martyn, share us about you, man. Share us a little bit about your background story, your origin story, whatever you want to call it. And I always like my guests to share the family setup because we're entrepreneur dads. I like people to know, sometimes I have guests on that have 9 kids. So people are like, and then that's what they do. So we like the full picture, right?
Nice. All right, cool. So I pretty much got started, I would say, in any kind of meaningful way online when I discovered a long time ago that you can buy Facebook pages and you can sell Facebook pages, but I wanted to buy Facebook pages. And this was back in the day when EdgeRank didn't exist, and every single fan on your page, as long as they were logged in, saw what you posted on that page. Mm-hmm. And so I literally saw pages grow from like 0 to 180,000 fans in a day because back then as well, there's a lot of hungry people on Facebook just looking for the next page to join. And it wasn't super complicated to make a great performing page that gathered loads of fans. It could just be something clever like a name, right? No content, just a funny name on the page. And so I started getting into these groups and buying up Facebook pages, and I didn't really have a reason other than I know that if I have attention and eyeballs, I'll figure out what I can sell later on and figure out a way to monetize it. So I was spending every spare penny I had buying Facebook pages, and I got 100 page in the sort of peak. I got to 100 different Facebook pages, and I was speaking to 20 million fans a day, which is more than a lot of TV stations and radio stations and so on. And it was interesting because I remember my first time that I posted to anybody really en masse. It was on a Facebook page called Alcohol, because no good story started with someone eating a salad, right? That was the name of the Facebook page. And I was like, what do I write? What do I write? What do I write? Overthinking it. And I ended up writing, okay, I'm just going to write something, really innocent. Good morning, right? That's what I wrote. And I'll never forget, the first comment back was from an Australian dude who said, "It's evening, dickhead." And I was like, because it was evening there in his time zone. I was like, wow, hate on my first thing. And that's kind of a big lesson that you can't at mass keep everyone happy. Someone's going to have a problem with something that you say, get past it. And so that journey took me into, I had the audience, then I was looking for things to sell. I went through Amazon, sort of affiliate stuff, didn't really like that, didn't really like selling other people's things. Went into the hybrid of selling print-on-demand T-shirts through Teespring and T-Chip, and sold like a few $1 million worth of that, and then didn't really like building up their business, and so moved into Shopify and the e-commerce model. And then started surrounding myself with other digital founders and amazing people. That led to co-founding a mastermind for 7 to 9 figure e-commerce brand owners, formerly called the Cartels Mastermind. It's still cartelsmastermind.com if you want to check out the stuff we do. But we're rebranding because we're sort of growing up, and that name doesn't reflect our values at all. But we do these amazing luxury high-level mastermind meetups. We get like 30 of us, and we go to the corners of the planet, and it's great fun. But it's really, really good for keeping that axe super sharp in terms of the skills and knowing what you're talking about. And so the family side, so I've gone through this whole journey and just cut 10 years into 2 minutes of talking there. But in terms of the family, my son, I have one son, his name is Saxon, and he was 2 in February, and that means that he was born, for those of you doing the quick maths, in 2018, which was when I sold my last e-commerce business. And so that e-commerce business scaled from 0 to to $1 million in its first 90 days. And then the next 6 months was kind of dealing with the headache of that rapid scale, by the way. It's not as good as sexy as it sounds. We basically broke every supplier, every system, everything that we had in place, and caused a massive headache. But we recovered from that. We carried on growing, but I eventually sold that in 2018, around about the time my son was born, because I just realized it was taking up a lot of my time. I wasn't enjoying it, and I really wanted to enjoy my son.
Mm-hmm.
And there's basically a thing I like to say, and as entrepreneurs, we have a lot of spinning plates, okay? And so in the most loving, affectionate way, my son is another spinning plate. But not all of our spinning plates are equal. Some of them are made of wood. Some of them are made of glass, okay? And what I say is that if you've got a lot of spinning plates, at some point a plate may fall off, right? You may just slip up a little bit and a plate will fall off the stick. Make sure it's one of the wooden plates, because that'll just chip a little bit, maybe it'll crack a little bit, but you can repair it and get that plate spinning again. Don't let it be one of the glass ones that falls off. And so I would say that family is one of the glass plates, right? You can't afford to let them fall, and that's why I prioritize family above all else. I make a lot of sacrifices providing for the family for sure, but push comes to shove, anything that's family related takes priority. And I think that balance, the spinning of the plates, with the business plates and the connection plates and the relationship plates and the social plates and the marriage plates, you've just got to identify what those plates are made of and prioritize them as such.
You said something very powerful there that will help most people. Is you need to identify for yourself what the most important plates are for you that you must keep spinning. That's huge, because most people are just like, running around trying to spin everything. No idea which plate is actually most important that should always be spinning. If we start with that, everything just becomes a lot easier. I even believe that time management, because a lot of people that connect me are like, yeah, but I don't have time for that. Oh, this is time. But if you know exactly, like, okay, which plate needs to be, then time management all of a sudden just becomes so easy. Like time just becomes, you have 24 hours, that's it. But, we work on those that spin. They're good. Let's go to the next one. I love that. I appreciate that. So one of the things that struck my eye that I definitely want to talk about before we go into a little bit of other stuff, I saw in your Facebook profile, life hacking or life hacker, right? You got to share with me, one, what is that? What does that mean to you? And why did you write that one, right? Out of space that you got to write anything you want.
So I'd say that's definitely evolved to biohacking, and I'm sure if you did a Google search for life hacking, it would show you how to, like, I don't know, make a container for your paint for your paintbrushes out of the bottom of a plastic bottle or something ridiculous like that. And I definitely don't mean that. And I think life hacking, you just said then, a lot of people come to you and say how they struggle with time management because they've only got 24 hours in the day and they want to sleep probably for some of it. And so I think that's a really good segue, because what I mean by life hacking and later biohacking, and I've practiced this for many years for fun, just experimenting on myself and so on, is getting more output for the same input. Okay, so it's about efficiencies. And so books like 4 Hour Work Week, Tracy, Eat That Frog, which is one of Brian Tracy, the book you just showed me, one of his earlier ones, Miracle Morning. These are books which really transformed my life, I would say. And Freedom Fastlane was another big one early on in the day. And and it talks about getting rid of the things that are time wasting, doubling down on the things that are getting you the biggest results, removing distractions as much as possible, and optimizing your body as much as possible so it can perform at that higher standard, okay? As well as a fair amount of delayed gratification, which is, of course, the entrepreneurial way. So that led me down all kinds of paths, and there's this sort of meditation, there's the listening to binaural beats music, there's the apps which help shorten or condense reading material, or listening to videos or podcasts at a slightly faster speed. There's all those kind of sort of production things with to-do lists and apps like Evernote and all of that good stuff. But it also led me into the biohacking side of things. And so the biohacking biohacking is something which I'm like really in love with, and part of the reason I launched New Brew is because it's a nootropic, right? And the world of nootropics is just a kid in a candy store for me. Scary at first because you're like, what's going to happen? We've all seen Bradley Cooper's Limitless. Like, what is going to happen? But nootropics are things that it's a whole world of on the loosest definition, it's supplementation for your brain. Okay, vitamins for your brain, but it's also a super grey area because nootropics cover potentially anything from caffeine to cocaine, right? Both of those have an effect on your brain, and so New Brew's sitting somewhere in the middle of those, closer to the coffee side, much closer to the coffee side, right? But there's different nootropics out there. Some will aid creativity, some will aid motivation, some will aid memory recall, some will help the filing of the information that you've taken in through the day whilst you sleep, so that you can access it better in the future. Some is short-term effects, some is medium-term effects, some is long-term effects, and so I was really playing with in this space and just trying out stuff, human guinea pig, and learning the things which I love and the things that I don't like, and learning what's safe and at what dosage and all of this kind of good stuff, which led me to create New Brew, which is a blend of 11 different active nootropics, the exact right amounts, blended together in a delicious strawberry lemonade flavor that you add to water, because I wanted to create something that was pleasurable to consume. Because nobody likes taking pills. Nobody. And if someone sees you taking pills, they assume you're ill. They don't assume that you're improving yourself. They assume you're ill, right? So I wanted something that was convenient, that you could take out, that tasted delicious, that was amazing to consume, that was safe, that was proven, that was obviously improved the world whilst doing it, and something that you could take every single day, because there's a lot of nootropics out there where you get the high, right? Like you take something like modafinil, you have a super productive day, it's an amazing day, but there is what comes up must come down. There is the other side of that where you sacrifice a lot of sleep and you have a sluggish next day, and modafinil has its place, but I wanted to create something that could be a daily nootropic that you could take every day. And so the life hacking led into biohacking. Biohacking led into the world of nootropics in a big way, but also things like blue blocking glasses later on at night, bulletproof coffee, binaural beats, like I said, cold showers, box breathing, all kinds of these crazy things that nobody tells you about that you can do to get like a desired result, right? Whether it's to change your mood, improve your endurance, improve your output. I mean, the list is huge, and so I would say biohacking is the search term if anyone's interested in this. Dave Asprey is probably one of the godfathers in this particular space, so definitely look him up and his bulletproof brand. But yeah, other people like Wim Hof, Tim Ferriss. These are great biohackers that you can learn a whole new world from.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yo, appreciate you sharing that. I'm actually really happy now that I asked that question. I was expecting a completely different answer, so that was awesome. Man, before we go, let me ask you and now you can choose whatever you want to talk about, a golden nugget that you would like to share with us, with our fellow entrepreneur dads.
Sure. So I thought you were going to ask this one, actually. I listened to one of your other shows.
Yeah,
so
right.
I was like, what? One golden nugget. Remember that I'm the guy that's written a book with 50 chapters, right? 50 golden nuggets minimum. And so it's like, yeah, pick one. It's like picking a child, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, do you know what? There's one which I want to talk about that I'm practicing right now, as in doing it right now, and people just don't talk about it enough. And so that's the one I'm going to go with. And what it is building a board of advisors for your company. Okay, and so it's not like a traffic hack or a life hack or whatever. There's tons of that around. You can grab my book and you grab all the free material that's online that will tell you about that. But I don't think enough people talk about board of advisors. So when we set out to build New Brew, remember we've got that mission of 1 billion, fortifying 1 billion meals by 2025. That would put us around about at a 9-figure brand. Okay, so more than $100 million dollars revenue. Right. So I've not built anything that big before. Okay, so I've built quite big, but I haven't built it that big. Okay. And so it would be pretty arrogant to come into that situation, just be like, but this time I'm just going to build it that big without any kind of rhyme or reason. And so what I recognized is I have strengths and I have weaknesses and I have gaps. Okay. And so the weaknesses I shouldn't be doing. The gaps I need to fill, and the strengths is what I need to focus on. And so I looked inward at my network. Remember, I have a podcast. I have the mastermind. I'm constantly trying to surround myself with amazing people and reach out and find more of them. Okay. I looked into who I've got around me and thought, right, who are the best people in my network that fill the gaps in my knowledge and are already managing 9-figure brands. Okay. And so I then wrote down like a dream list. I wrote down 10 people and I started hitting the phones. Okay. So I was calling up these people, or FaceTiming or video calling, right? And I called up the first 7 and got 7 yeses, which I was super, super grateful for.
Nice.
But on our board of advisors, for example, Josh Elizechi, the founder of Snow Teeth Whitening, he's one of our advisors. He is phenomenal when it comes to influencer marketing. He's had like Charlie Sheen, all the Kardashians, Chuck Liddell, Gronk, like all these amazing people talking about and using his brand. He is phenomenal at that, and he's phenomenal at like omni-channel growth. The guy's a hero, and he came out to one of our digital masterminds. He was one of the speakers. I met him there, and it was great. Another guy is a guy named Jordan Rolband, who's a little bit of an enigma. You don't hear about him a lot, but he's got his finger in a lot of pies. He's a phenomenal businessman, phenomenal. And the list goes on. We've got a guy that was a CFO for a million pound a year flour delivery company. That's the pretty kind of flour that you have to grow 6 months in advance for the demand. It's a crazy business model. And the list goes on. And I surrounded myself with these people. And I think it's just such an easy way to immediately add some kind of authority, team, support, growth opportunities, network for your brand. And so I exchanged the deal was a small amount of equity in exchange for up to 4 hours of their time a month. That's all I was asking, and said most of the time I won't even use that time, right? I won't be calling you. I just want you to be a part of it, and we'll achieve our goals, and we'll all have a great party in 2025, something, right? And they're like, brilliant, I'm in. I can see you're passionate about it because of the mission, right?
Yeah.
And I want to be a part of that. And that's already led to, we're in month 3 of our life, right? But it's already led to some incredible advice, some incredible connections, and already some incredible opportunities. And so building a board of advisors, I would say, is probably the number one golden nugget that is less heard of, and everyone should do, and everyone can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you just shared how you are able to set that up. So I love it. I appreciate that golden nugget. I heard a couple of more, so I hope people pick that up. But anyway, before we go, Martyn, right? I'm going to share this link so people can see it. Besides your website, martyncook.co.uk, where can people find you, connect with you? What are the best ways?
Sure. So I'm on all of the places, as you can imagine. I would say if you're interested in the biohacking, life hacking stuff, you can search for Smarter Destiny on YouTube, and I've got some older videos there, and I talk about all kinds of wacky stuff on there. If you're interested in hearing more about what I've got to say, and actually more about the people in my network, what they've got to say, you can check out the Smarter Destiny podcast. If you want to email me, you can email me martyn@smarterdestiny.com. I actually reply to all emails. Not a lot of people take me up on that offer, so I have plenty of time to respond to those emails. Just spell Martyn correctly, because out of pure hatred, I did not set up a redirect for the incorrect spelling of Martyn on the email. I will not get it if you send it there. So make sure you spell the name the way that my parents decided to do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, the website that you've got there, martyncook.co.uk, is a great starting point. There's just links to some of my projects that I'm doing, and if you're interested in New Brew, check it out at newbrew.com.
Awesome, love it. Martyn, thank you so much for being on. Really appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. Everybody else, thank you for being on. If you got some value out of it, make sure to hit that heart button and share it. because your friends will definitely appreciate you for sharing this and them being able to get some value out of it as well. Thank you all. We'll see each other very soon. Stay safe and healthy. Goodbye.